In no particular order, Texans at the Cowboys tonight. The Cowboys at home giving 7. There is no more undefeated team in the NFL as the Bills beat the Chiefs, and an incredible performance by Josh Allen, who has now become the leader in the clubhouse for MVP. This according to DraftKings. Second on the list is Lamar Jackson. Then it's Jared Goff. If Jared Goff didn't have that game where he threw 4 interceptions, was it 4 or 5?
5.
5 interceptions. He might be above Lamar Jackson, but right now it's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and then Patrick Mahomes. But Allen was wonderful yesterday. Once again, he's good during the regular season, and you probably had the same reaction. Can you do it again? Mahomes says to Josh Allen, let's do it again later on this season. That means it'll probably be in Kansas City, and that's what we'll wait for. Steelers hold off the Ravens. There are, 18 games this season where a team didn't score a touchdown. The Steelers have 2 of the 4 wins in those games where a team didn't score a touchdown, and 4 of those teams have won. The Steelers have done it twice as they hold on to beat the Ravens. This is always a slugfest. It doesn't matter how good the team is or how bad the team is. Doesn't mean if one team is really good and one team isn't. It's going to come down to normally a field goal. And you had a chance for Lamar Jackson, but the Steelers hold off the Ravens. Last night, the Chargers over the Bengals. Chargers look unbelievable in the first half. The Bengals look unbelievable in the second half. Some bad kicking. Bad kicking was prevalent throughout the NFL. But Joe Burrow is putting up incredible numbers and has nothing to show for it. When you look at the stats and you go, he's thrown for 300 yards, he's thrown for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he's done that, I think, 3 times this year, and he's lost all 3 games. Almost statistically impossible to throw for 300, have 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and they lost last night. But when you're looking at perfection, Jared Goff, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, another perfect passer rating. 7th time in league history, a quarterback has thrown for at least 400 yards with 4 or more passing touchdowns and a perfect passer rating. Well, guess who is the only quarterback to have 2 of those? Jared Goff.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America. We'll take your phone calls as we always do every Monday. Best and worst of the weekend. Operator Tyler's sitting by. We'll come up with a poll question, play of the day, stat of the day. Good morning if you're watching on Peacock. Thank you for downloading the app. We say good morning to our radio affiliates around the country, including iHeartRadio and Fox Sports Radio. I like the Seahawks. I thought they were a playoff team. That's a big win against the Niners. And I like what I saw with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is younger than Shedeur Sanders by a couple of months. And I'm glad that the Colts went back to him. I'm glad Carolina went back to Bryce Young. We forget. We're kicking kids to the curb when they're 21, 22, 23. Give them a little bit of time. Try to have some patience. And I was happy for Richardson. I don't have a rooting interest, but I did root for him to play well. Oh, look who's got all their Bronco gear on. Yeah.
We're back.
It's we when we're back.
Still got a long way to go. Got to go 4-2 the rest of the way to get to 10 wins.
They
Blocked
do.
field goal was bad.
They do, not we do, right?
They,
you.
I'm on the fence right now by where things are going.
You guys blew out the Falcons. Congratulations.
3rd place in the division, and we got to go 4-2 to get to 10 wins. Still got to play the Chargers and Chiefs again.
I watch the Falcons, and I go, yeah, that's the team I picked to win the division, too. What is wrong with them? And then Kirk D. Cousins gets benched for Michael Penix Jr. III. I'm like, okay. Maybe a little spark there, a little drama. All right. What other poll questions do you have, Seton O'Connor?
Oh, man. Let's see. Why don't we start with our Monday regular worst loss of the weekend?
Ooh, okay.
Worst loss of the weekend. Your Tennessee
Feels
Volunteers.
like the Bengals. Oh, I thought. Well, yeah, that's right. It can be anybody.
It could be anybody. We could start with your Bengals.
It feels like it could be the Bengals every week, where you watch them and you go, "What's missing here?" That I don't know. you can't have this kind of season statistically. And before the season started, I had Joe Burrow as my dark horse MVP. But they could have won it. Herbert almost threw a pick six. I mean, I'm not completely confident with the Chargers with what they did, but they won the game. Todd, do you have a worst loss of the weekend candidate?
The worst loss of the weekend, I'm going to give to Marvin's 49ers. I watched that unfold, and they had the game. They're in San Francisco in a very tight NFC West playing a division rival, and to not spy Geno Smith or have an answer to him just running like that right into the end zone with 12 seconds left in the game, that was just brutal.
Hey, good for Geno Smith. I mean, that's not as impressive as Josh Allen's run, but, man, it's up there. That's a big clutch performance by him, and the 49ers are in last place. Now, granted, I think they're a game and a half out of first place, but they're in last place right now. And the Rams taking care of business against the Patriots, because I thought that's one of those tricky games. That Drake May and the Patriots, Rams coming cross-country, going to play at 1 o'clock, and Matthew Stafford was awesome. I said that, to me, the worst loss of the weekend might have been the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, they were 14-point underdogs against Detroit. I didn't think they would win, but I didn't think they would go out the way they did, 52-6. By the way, that score has never happened in the history of the NFL, 52-6. I think there have been over 1,000 different scores in the history, maybe close to 1,100 different scores in the history of the NFL. We've never had a 52-6. I thought that Doug Peterson was going to get fired. Now, this is their bye week. They do have a schedule that's pretty friendly the rest of the season. There's a chance they could win all of those games or maybe lose just one of those games. I always find that owners, when they know they want to fire their coach, you don't want to give them the opportunity to kind of win back their job. And I don't know if Shad Khan's going to fire Doug Peterson during the bye week. What are the Jags during the bye week, Paulie? Are they
after the bye week?
4? No. How many points they get during the bye week?
Oh, they're getting 4.5 after the bye week, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. But I'm going to take the bye week.
Yeah. After the bye week, they have Texans, Titans, Jets, Raiders, Titans, Colts. Winnable for a normal team.
They could win those, not the Texans probably, but they could win those games. And then you start to hear the rumors swirl. Once again, rumors that that's the team Bill Belichick wants to coach. And this came up weeks ago. It might have been Mike Florio saying that Belichick looking at Jacksonville. And I don't know. Trent Baalke is the GM, and they've worked together, and Mike Florio was speculating that, I mean, this is sort of the behind-the-scenes chatter with Bill Belichick, that Belichick does want to indeed coach again. There are numerous reports pregame yesterday. Speaking of the Bears, here's the Bears radio network with the call on what could have been the game-winning field goal.
Packers 20, Bears 19. Scott Daly on the ball. Taylor will extend his right hand on cue from Cairo Santos. South end zone upright. Snap. Placement. Kick is blocked by the Green Bay Packers. And they will survive and leave with an 11th consecutive win over the Bears. Crusher.
It could have been a bright day in an otherwise overcast month for the Chicago Bears. If I was a columnist, that would be my first line. It could have been a bright day in an otherwise overcast month for the Chicago Bears. Here is Matt Eberflus, the Bears head coach, on his locker room.
You know, I've said this before. I know who's in that locker room, and I know the men in the locker room, and they're strong, and they're players, you know, and they're tight, you know, in terms of their relationship. So the guys will come back and get back to work. You know, so there's, you know, always a resolve, always a respect for each other to be able to come to work and get the job done. And we just got to punch that ticket.
Alrighty. There's certain things you hear, and if you're a grown man, you're going, they're not gonna swallow that. Hey, we need to get together and work hard, and then we're gonna punch our ticket. Who's with me?
Let's go! What, dude?
I have to believe there's certain coaches who practice their speeches. Maybe they get their wife or family together. Okay, I was thinking about this. No, don't. That's cheesy, Dad. Don't do that. Okay, what about this? Matt Eberflus, there's nothing he can say. In fact, there's too much attention directed toward the Chicago Bears. They're not a good team. They'll have a new coach next year. Their quarterback has not played well. He's been outplayed by at least 2 fellow rookie quarterbacks and maybe 3. Bo Nix was great yesterday. Played wonderful. You know, he's athletic. What do you have, 4 touchdowns? They played great. They're a playoff caliber team. I thought Drake May played pretty well in the loss to the Rams. Jaden Daniels. I mean, Caleb Williams, kind of waiting for him to show up here. Probably won't happen until next season.